Hello, my name is Marvin Coto, and in this video I will be talking about what is Constructivism, a little bit of the history of this learning theory, its application in education, and its impact in the classroom and the e-learning experience. What is Constructivism? Entrenched in learning theories advanced by Dewey, Piaget, Vygotsky, and Brunner, Constructivism learning theory is defined as active construction of new knowledge based on a learner's prior experience. Constructivism is a learning theory which holds that knowledge is best gained through a process of reflection and active construction in the mind. The learner must consider the information being taught and, based on past experiences, personal views, and cultural background, construct an interpretation. Constructivism is basically a theory based on observation and scientific study about how people learn. It says that people construct their own understanding and knowledge of the world through experiencing things and reflecting on those experiences. There are three foundational psychologists of Constructivism: Jan Piaget, John Dewey, and Lev Vygotsky. Jan Piaget and John Dewey developed theories of childhood development and education, what we now call progressive education. That led to the evolution of Constructivism. Jan Piaget is known as one of the first theorists in Constructivism. His theories indicate that humans create knowledge through the interaction between their experiences and ideas. Lev Vygotsky concentrated on the social aspects of learning through experiences. Constructivism is split into two main camps: radical and social. The first form, radical or cognitive constructivism, proposes that the process of constructing knowledge is dependent on the individual's subjective interpretation of their active experience. The second form, social constructivism, affirms that human development is socially situated and that knowledge is constructed through interaction with others. Some of the key assumptions of this learning theory include: what the student currently believes, whether correct or incorrect, is important. Despite having the same learning experience, each individual will base their learning on the understanding and meaning personal to them. Understanding or constructing a meaning is an active and continuous process. Learning may involve some conceptual changes. When students construct a new meaning, they may not believe it, but may give it professional acceptance or even rejection. Learning is an active, not passive process and depends on the students taking responsibility to learn. The course that I will design is focused on teaching students how to communicate using the target language in real-world situations. The learner will be able to understand, talk, and write about how to make a reservation for future trips and what she or he will need based on expected weather conditions. They will also talk and write about dining plans. Constructivism encourages the learner to actively construct new knowledge in real-world situations. Once the real-world situation is presented, the learner will be able to apply his or her knowledge in every situation, and this also encourages interdisciplinary learning, which is also an objective in the course. Children learn more and enjoy learning more when they are actively involved, rather than passive listeners. Education works best when it concentrates on thinking and understanding rather than on rote memorization. Constructivism concentrates on learning how to think and understand. Constructivism gives students ownership of what they learn, since learning is based on students' questions and explorations, and often the students have a hand in designing the assessments as well. According to research, cooperative learning is an effective way to implement constructivism in the classroom. Three examples of cooperative learning are reciprocal questioning, jigsaw classroom, and structured controversies. Reciprocal questioning is where students work together to ask and answer questions. This technique is often prevalent through activities such as book discussion groups. Jigsaw classroom refers to assigning students to become experts on one part of a group project and teach it to the others in their group. Structured controversies are where students work together to research a particular controversy. Application in an e-learning classroom. One example of the application of constructivism in e-learning is the one described by Kuhan in his article E-Learning and Constructivism. Kuhan advanced a model based on constructivism learning theory in e-learning environments. The model includes three categories for elements of constructivism: the design of learning activities, learning assessment, and instructors' roles. Research agrees that constructivism learning theory, which focuses on knowledge construction based on learners' previous experience, is a good fit for e-learning because it ensures learning among learners. In Kuhan's model, the design of learning activities included collaboration, cooperation, multiple perspectives, real-world examples, scaffolding, self-reflection, multiple representations of ideas, and social negotiation. The learning assessment elements consisted of instructor assessment, collaborative assessment, and self-assessment. The instructor's roles were coaching, guiding, mentoring, acknowledging, providing feedback, and assessing student learning. Constructionism is one application of constructivism. An example of constructionism is an instructor teaching a class of learners about engineering by assigning them to build a bridge. The process the learners would embark on to learn how to build a bridge would, in theory, teach them all the nuances of engineering concepts. The learning would come mostly through trial and error, as the learners adapted their past experiences to the current task. Another effective implementation of constructivism in the classroom is teaching big topics and allowing each learner to find what pieces relate to them most. For example, an instructor teaching evolution does not choose a specific point in evolution to focus on, but rather gives an overarching explanation. Thus, a student who relates with the natural selection is interested in the topic of their own will and chooses to write a paper on it and share with the class. The constructivist framework relies on the learners to be in control of their own acquisition of knowledge and encourages the instructor to serve as a facilitator. Constructivism has limitations, but it can allow for the learner to reach higher planes of knowledge than would be possible otherwise. Thank you for your time.